Hi, Body Masai. As promised, here's the next lesson of LFA Lesson 5, Part 5. The scepter shall not depart from Judah. And here we're going to touch on the aspect of the financial justice or financial compensation. Of course, there is a much longer list than these women of Judah and men of Judah who are fighting for financial justice and equality as far as compensation financially, as far as everything from reparations to farmers being compensated for the injustice Black farmers have been subjected to over the years. Various things. But I want to mention that all of these people here are affiliated with an outcry for financial justice when it comes from not simply people, descendants of Africans and African slaves here in America, but also in the Father's land. Okay? PLO Lumumba, Dr. Arikana Chihombre Kwa, Chickamauga Ngozi Adichie. I hope I didn't mess up their name bad, but I did my best. These are people who have come to the forefront to call out the financial injustice that has been inflicted upon the Father's land in Africa for centuries. And they really have called out from back in history how not only colonization has been used to continuously oppress the African nation, as we mentioned through biblical scripture, how we have proved many of the promised land that Adonai Elohim has given unto the children of Israel and promised to them, is all throughout Africa. We've proven this based on geographical history, biblical history. Old maps of Africa prove this beyond a shadow of a doubt. So now you see that in this current generation, people like these three who are calling out how all these European nations and also America, Western nations, are using Africa as their means of continuously enriching themselves while suppressing and oppressing the African nation, robbing them of their resources, kicking off some type of war incident, or attacking or killing and taking out their presidents to disrupt the environment of peace in order to rob them of their resources in the background under the cover of helping them through the United Nations. I may attach a video of some of us, specifically Miss Dr. Arikana, because she beautifully lays out how they're so deceptive in abusing the African nation, which is rich beyond measure of any place in the world with natural resources. Of course, the people have been made oppressed and poor for the most part, but now during this great awakening, God is using people such as them in order to wake up the population. This next generation is not hearing all of the pillaging that's happening to the African nation, and thousands upon thousands of leaders are springing forth in order to stop and pump the brakes on what these European and Western countries are doing to the Father's land. You'll also see, I just put Mr. John Boyd Jr. He's an African-American farmer who has been for decades fighting for America to do right by all of the Black farmers. They've been discriminated against for decades under a system that was supposed to shield and protect and help uplift farmers throughout the United States whenever they have encountered hardships. But as usual, like most systems throughout the U.S. and throughout the world, you'll see that they were actually in place because the individuals at every level would accommodate the white farmers or those white customers and disregard and deny the Black farmers or customers, okay? And this is for decades. So he's been in that battle I think I'm going to attach a video because you'll notice as he's going through that struggle to call out the injustice of the financial compensation that was denied of black farmers over the years. He was in a video on the Dr. Phil show, and he's pointing out some things that even America, the whore of Babylon, is doing to herself to undermine her own safety. Maybe later on down the line we'll talk about it, but in more detail. But I believe she's doing things to undermine her own safety because she knows the time of the Gentiles has come to an end, and so they'd rather for it to come to naught than the reins to be handed over to the actual descendants of Israel, which is fine. But Adonai continuously is in control, will never, ever be out of the control. He builds up kingdoms and he tears them down. And he's used all these individuals here. I know a lot of people may have issues with Oprah Winfrey or they may not even know who this young man is, King Randall. But I'm going to show you how this young man is pivotal in helping the next generation to mature, to come into financial maturity, to come into work responsibilities, things that were not afforded of, because he helps to shield and build up the population of young men who were homeless, who probably without fathers in their household and don't know how to transition into being self-sufficient. So he's a part of this financial awakening that's happening with the descendants of Israel. And he doesn't discriminate. He helps others also. But he's very important to the next generation. You'll see young ladies like Michi X. That's a tough sister right there, but she reminds me of some of my family members. But she is forever about the empowerment of the next generation of our people. And she keeps herself laser focused, even though she takes time out to hard check people. And a lot of people may have negative things to say about her. She's still a member of the household of Judah who God is using to change the tides. Okay? Remember years back, there was a lady named Shirley Sherrod who was falsely accused of discriminating against some white farmers. And come to find out, this lady has a hard beginning because her father, who was a farmer, was killed by a white farmer, and that white farmer never went to prison. Out of jealousy, her father was killed, but she ended up working in the agricultural department to help poor farmers, no matter what their race was, to help them financially gain grants and compensation from the U.S. government to help them. All of these people are pivotal in helping our next generation of black and brown entrepreneurs move forward independently without the beast system. So I know there are a lot of people who try to find offenses with all of these folks listed here. But I will say and say once again, do not allow the enemy to use you in order to degrade or have hatred towards any of these people who God has put in place to move the next generation forward through this great awakening. This is the end of this lesson, Body Messiah. I just want you to keep in mind every aspect of what these people do are used to break strongholds that have been ingrained throughout society for centuries. And so you will find something for each one of these. I'm not going to attach a video for each one of these, maybe a couple. Mr. John Boyd Jr., and I think one of King Randall. I'm pretty sure I'll probably have one of Dr. Arcana also. But I want you to look at those and review those and see how powerful they are in speaking out against financial injustice that has been used and ingrained through systematic oppression that has been pushed by the enemy, by demonic powers of white supremacy. Well, Body Messiah, this is the end of this lesson. I thank you so much for joining us. And as we always say, may Adonai Elohim cover and surround you and your family shield and protect you all, and envelop you all with his shalom peace. Bye-bye.